Hi, this is Mary Jo Ryder.
Hey, Mike here.
And we have guests tonight.
We do.
They're going to share a moment with M and MJ.
They're going to have a moment with us. Isn't that awesome? We got Amber and Nat, Bloodgood, and we are honored and blessed to have you guys on. Say hi, guys.
Go ahead.
Hi. We're really excited.
You know, it would have been fun. It would have been fun if both of you would have said it at exactly the same time. Hi, guys.
That's what I was trying to I was like, I wonder if she's going to say this first. But hey, how's it going?
Well, we were talking about a while back. We started and kind of tabled a little bit of a series on being debt free. In the day that we're living in now, even when you're listening to this, it really doesn't matter when the message is timely. Debt free is the way to be. Wow. Mm-hmm. Did I just say that?
You did.
Debt free is the way to be. So, you know, that should be my first word. Debt free is the way to be. And you have this cheesy picture of my face on this book going like this.
Yeah, there you go.
You guys can't see it.
$1 million idea
You know,
right there.
if you've seen a
say,
cheesy picture
can't
on a
see.
book, you can probably get an idea. But so we wanted to talk to these guys about it and have them talk to you just because they've got a story to tell, and it's pretty amazing. So go for it, folks.
Well, I want to say one thing.
Yeah.
Is that when we were talking about individuals that we would like to have on the podcast and on this subject, and one of the subjects was somebody that has grown up knowing about tithing, participated, and then has also been doing it as an adult and shared that testimony.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So that's really what, we kind of we're going to focus on this podcast.
I grew up at Faith Family Church. So I've been going to church for my whole life. I did leave for a season. So I grew up tithing. My mom instilled that to me as a young girl. I'm glad she did.
Mm-hmm.
And then,
Do you have any memories of evidence of God's hand financially in your life as a young girl?
Not financially, no. I mean, I had so many cool things happen though that you could just tell. Like I was riding my bike. We lived on a hill when I was a kid. I was riding my bike down it, and my brakes went out.
Okay.
Wow.
And at the bottom of the hill is cliff intersection, and so
Okay.
I was gonna go straight into it. And my mom, I literally can't describe it. I remember it clear as day. It was like something just picked me up by my arms and just set me on the ground, and my bike went towards the busy street.
Wow.
And it was so cool, and things like that,
That's so awesome.
But I can only chalk it up to having that covenant
Yes.
that my mom
Yes.
taught me, and so thanks, Mom.
Right.
Right. That's the benefit of a praying mama.
Oh, yeah.
Bless God.
Yep.
I'll tell you
And
what.
a tithing mama. I mean, that's kind of
Oh,
what
yeah.
we're talking about.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so
Awesome.
I did that, and then I left for a season, left church, and I stopped tithing. I stopped going to church, and I could tell.
Yeah.
You lose that covenant, you lose that blessing, and it was like I was making really good money, but I was still short. I could never have enough, and then it was flash forward to us getting married. The Lord called me to school, and I started school, and we were living off of one income and doing more because we started tithing together. We were doing more off of one income than I could ever do off of two without tithing, and so
Right.
it's like the
That's-
math doesn't add up, but
Yes.
God is so good.
Yeah, that's telling
It's
right
just-
there.
That's amazing.
That's what we want to hear, actually.
Drop the mic.
So-
Boom.
Yeah.
Serious. Well, that's
So now,
awesome.
were you married and restarted tithing, or did you tithe before you got married? How did that kind of develop?
Ultimately, I had growing up, went to church, and after, at the church I grew up was a Methodist church, and so we had to go through the whole confirmation thing. And so my parents gave me the ultimatum at the end of it: after you get confirmed, you can choose.
Right. Okay.
I chose the wrong way.
You didn't grow
Yeah,
up tithing, did you?
No,
your
I was never
parents?
taught about tithing or anything
Sure.
like that until actually I was an adult. And so at this point, we had been together, and she had always talked about tithing, you should tithe. She explained the reasonings behind it and the covenant and all that stuff. And one of the ultimatums was, before we get married, to be equally yoked, we are to both be tithing.
Sure.
And so until we're both tithing, we're not going to get married, which is fine. You know, I need that correction in my life.
You weren't fine with it at the time.
At the time, I wasn't.
Is coming out.
I tried to. What I told her was, I have to personally and naturally at this point, like, justify it within myself to do it. So I was like, you have to let me read this.
Sure.
You have to let me take my own things from it. And I just had to try to naturally justify it instead of just supernaturally just trust God and just go for it. And we went through some time, and I still wouldn't do it. Well, I just didn't put forth the time and the effort to what I thought in the natural was to just do my research, make sure all this matches up.
Sure.
And there was just one day that I decided, you know what, I'm not putting forth the effort. It's the one time in the Bible that she always talked about was where it's the one time where it says, trust me. Right. And so I'm going to put forth my trust. So it was blind faith, and I'm like, I'm going to tithe, and the Lord will show me, the Lord will prove to me that this is what it's supposed to do. And
That's awesome.
at that time. And so in my line of work, we were dealing with contracts and stuff at that point. So, you know, having to get one contract every hour was reasonable, right? You were making pretty good money if you get a contract an hour.
Okay.
So like occasionally you'd get one contract per customer, sometimes two, very rarely 3 and 4.
Okay.
And the day after I tithed,
Here we go.
a customer, like, they didn't do just 3 or 4. They ended up doing 10 contracts within one customer.
Oh, that's
And
so good.
yeah, prior to this, I didn't tell her I tithed.
You didn't tell me. I
So
was like, we went to church. We sat right next to each other on Sunday, and he tithed, and I had no idea.
Yeah.
So I called her and I was like, I'm pretty sure the Lord just told me, like, hey, I got you. So yeah, there was that.
That is so cool.
And so since then, we've been tithing together, even on one income. Like she says, we've been able to do much more on one income.
Right.
The Lord provides, doesn't matter the season we're in.
Yeah, that's
We get through it. And it got to the point where, you know, made some bad financial decisions at some point. And it was, well, do I pay my mortgage or do I tithe?
Right. Okay.
And we just got on the same page. And at this point, like, it's the first fruits, right? So the first thing I should be doing when I get paid is tithe.
Right.
The rest is my money that would go towards bills, towards fun, things like that. And so
And
even
it always
though
worked out.
Always
Always.
don't know how. I mean, obviously, well, I know how, it's God, but it naturally, it just looked like it was going to go downhill. I got into fear, and I thought I was, you know, if I don't pay my mortgage, I'm going to lose my home. And yeah, I just let fear take a hold of me for a little bit, and we just made sure we got back on the same page, and we keep each other in check, and we
always tithed first, though. And it
Always
was like
tithed
we were able to pay our mortgage, and it didn't make any sense. And
Didn't add up.
no, it
not
just
at all.
didn't.
Right.
But it was nice to be on that same page while we were married.
yeah.
Right.
So yeah, I didn't come from a
is the
background of
coolest.
growing up being taught about tithing and stuff like that, but so
But it's cool to have that testimony because there are people that don't grow up in it.
yeah, I mean,
Like I did.
impact. If we help with impact and everything like that, there are a lot of people that weren't taught that growing up, and so it gives me an ability to reach out to individuals that I was in their same shoes.
Right.
So,
That's so good.
That's amazing. I mean, you know, what better thing to have than a testimony?
yeah,
It was like, I don't know if you guys listened to mine or not, but it was like within a month of when I finally threw down the gauntlet and said, God, I'm doing it your way. I don't care. Income doubled.
Yep.
Boom.
yep,
That was
blessing after
awesome.
blessing for us as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So,
absolutely.
yep.
Absolutely. So take heart, listeners.
And
Take
it's
heart.
nice to be able to notice that.
Oh, yeah. And that's true, too, because sometimes an individual will start to tithe and they may not see something so dramatic and they might go, well, what about me? But
Right.
it's good to hear, you know,
Right.
that there's positive reinforcement and that people are given testimonies that are so good.
Right. Well, then your testimony helps build other people's faith too.
Yes.
Right.
You know.
And we all know that the word is true and that it's going to be, you know,
Yeah.
that their testimony, I mean, that they're going to see
Right.
Yeah.
the fruit of what they're doing.
Right.
And it's not always money. I like how Pastor
Oh,
talked
yeah.
about that. Like, you know, just like when
Absolutely.
I was a kid, a little girl on that bike, you know, it's your safety, it's your health,
Yeah.
it's your sanity.
Right.
Well, the devourer comes in many forms,
Yep.
doesn't he?
He does.
Yeah. It's not just cash.
Nope.
I mean, it's a broken down car. It's the hail on the roof.
Yeah.
and the
Or
insurance
it's
said
not
no
those things.
or whatever. It's that kind of stuff that
Yeah.
we don't have.
Yep.
Do you know what I mean? So,
We
I
see
mean,
that's so much protection.
yeah, well, we had a situation when we were out in the hills and the turbo blew up on the truck.
Right?
I mean, you talk about protection of God and the blessing of God. I mean, we're pulling horses out back from the Black Hill. We're pulling them out, and I got oil all over the front of the trailer.
Oh no.
Yeah, and I'm sitting here going, something ain't right. Either busted a seal on the motor or whatever. So I took the truck into town, and they fixed it. Well, they didn't put a load on it to test it. So once the turbo spooled up from the pressure, it started leaking again. So we
When
get
we
to
were coming up that big
yeah.
hill out of
we're
Wasta.
pulling out of Wasta, right?
Oh.
That's a hard pull for a car.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, that's a hard pull for a car with the wind at your back.
Yeah.
And we got horses on board and 3 of us in the truck and a load of stuff. And I'm looking in the mirror and I'm seeing smoke and I'm like, oh, Lord have mercy. So we pulled off in all places, Belvedere. All right. Yeah.
I'm going to pretend I know where that's at.
It's
Small town.
not
It's a
surprising.
small town.
Yeah,
that-
'cause-
Okay, because there's 3 trailer houses, 2 gas stations. That's Belvedere.
Okay, fair enough.
Right? So it's like, yeah, you don't even know you drive by it until it's like, well, it's Belvedere. So anyway, I get on the phone with the dealership where we took the truck. And it's like, hey, you know what? You guys are fine. Don't worry about it. I'm going to send a wrecker out and we're going to get it and we're going to bring it back and we're going to fix it. I was like, cool. So now what I got is I got a busted truck in Belvedere with 2 horses on board. And I
Right.
have no clue what's going on.
And they're going to send a wrecker and get our truck.
Yeah, they're going to send a wrecker and get the truck, but they can't do nothing with the horses. So I go into the gas station and no, it wasn't even that. There was a guy, the guy that hauled us to Chamberlain, he was standing there with his truck.
We
putting
just
fuel
asked him
in.
if I
Just
don't
asked him
remember
if he knew anybody that was
Yeah.
going east.
that we could
right.
have them hook onto our trailer and take
Yeah.
us because we figured out a way to get home from Chamberlain.
Yeah, we just had to get
Okay.
to Chamberlain.
Through
Okay.
my boss, his wife would come
Yeah.
out and meet us that far. She was, would take their
Right.
truck and come in. So this guy
Man.
said, "I'll take you." And
I'll pull you to Chamberlain. And I'm like,
we're like, "Thank you, Lord."
Wow. And that just doesn't happen.
no. And it's
Wasn't
like,
by
yeah,
accident.
well, you know what? I don't know anybody, but I got to go. And
Right.
kind of sucks to be you. but,
Yeah.
you know.
So it was so good.
It was amazing.
Favor.
And then we get the bill for getting the truck fixed. It cost like $1,200 to get the truck fixed the first time. So I got on the phone with the dealer and ended up getting the service manager on the phone. And she goes, yeah, I heard what's going on with this truck. I'm going to personally make sure that this thing is done right. And that was McKee Ford out in Rapid City. Shameless plug for McKee Ford Service Department, right? And what it all kind of ended up, they refunded us the original bill, the whole thing,
Wow.
paid for the wrecker call, didn't even charge us any labor to refix it. The only thing we ended up paying for was the part for a new turbo to put it on.
Praise
That was
God.
Wasn't that awesome?
That is so
That is
cool.
really cool.
And, so the devourer comes in many forms.
Yep.
And it's not just money. I mean, we had these horses, and it was a hot day.
Well, that
it was like 100
Covered
degrees.
a lot of bases on that one. The
Man.
protection covered
Yeah.
a lot of bases.
Totally.
So that was
So,
good.
Yeah, it's awesome. Well, we're going to wrap this one for right now, and we're going to have these 2 back on another time, and we're going to have them share a testimony about something that happened in their life here.
Just recently.
Just
so
recently.
it'll be
So
good.
thanks
Stay
for
tuned.
listening. Stay tuned. This is going to be exciting. God bless you all. Love you.